It's very disappointing to hear that they've known about it this long and nobody's ever done anything.
Tonight, we are hearing from former students of a North St. Louis County school contaminated with radioactive waste from nearby Coldwater Creek. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. It's been nearly a week since an independent report found radioactivity at Jana Elementary School. Since then, the Hazelwood School District has decided to go to virtual learning at that school. And in the last hour, we've learned the Army Corps of Engineers will begin more of its own testing on Monday.
Tonight, Jana Cornell is hearing from former alum about what workers are in danger of possibly and what dangers her family could possibly be in. Justina?
Yeah, Kelly, so I spoke to Emily Pettit just a few hours ago, and she's from North St. Louis County and now lives in Germany. And she says when the news broke, it hit close to home.
I went to Jana from kindergarten until third grade, so around 2004 is when I started kindergarten.
Emily Pettit was shocked when she heard about the report from a private environmental investigative group. It showed high levels of radioactive contamination inside Jana Elementary School and on the playground.
I had known that Coldwater Creek was contaminated. I think everybody in the community has known that for years. But to know that there were such high levels at the elementary school that I went to, that my mom had substitute taught in, it was just... It's hard to put into words. It was shocking.
The news reached her all the way in Germany, where she currently lives. And back here, it worries her mother, who was a substitute at Jana.
Definitely has me worried, and for the kids that go there now. And then now there's conflicting reports coming out about the radiation levels. So again, you don't know what to think.
Their family lived close to Coldwater Creek.
We were just always playing in and around the creek.
I had no idea, but when I would have friends come over, we would climb down in there and just, play in the water.
But in recent years, the duo learned more about the dangers. Now they're worried.
I've seen my family go through autoimmune diseases, lupus. Both of my grandparents who grew up in the North County area died of cancer.
Our family, the three youngest of us especially, have a lot of autoimmune diseases. I have 4 myself. Do I just have really bad genetics, or is this Coldwater Creek?
They are angered about the lack of action in the past and demand a change in the future.
I hope they actually bring somebody in and do a major cleanup.
The next generation really needs to push for answers and be proactive about our health.
Just like other families, the two are demanding transparency and hope this mess can be cleaned up. Reporting live, Jana Cornell, 5 on your side.
In the past several hours, we heard from Missouri Congresswoman Cori Bush. She says she met with the Army Corps about its testing that begins next week.
These are dangerous and deadly chemicals in our classrooms where our children learn and our teachers teach. For years, I've stood with community members in asking the Department of Energy and Army Corps to address the situation at Coldwater Creek. These agencies are responsible for the waste. They must clean it up immediately.
This is a problem that dates back nearly 80 years, and the Army Corps has been involved in testing and cleanup for decades. The school is on a Coldwater Creek floodplain. In the 1940s and 50s, radioactive waste from World War II was dumped into the creek. Last Friday, the Boston Chemical Data Corporation released an independent report which shows contamination inside the school and on the playground. Then Tuesday night, the Hazelwood School District announced school would go virtual starting next week. This, of course, is still a developing story. We will continue to press officials for answers, and we will share updates as they come in. We'll share those with you on air and online.
A man who fired the shots in a murder-for-hire plot will spend 32 years in prison. Travell Hill was sentenced for the 2016 murder today. He says he was hired to kill Andre Montgomery Jr., featured on the reality show Welcome to Sweetie Pies. He admitted to working with Montgomery's uncle, Tim Norman. Norman was found guilty last month in his nephew's murder for hire.
Tonight, the police chief of a small Missouri town is facing drug trafficking charges following the death of his girlfriend's brother. This is in the town of Louisiana in Pike County. It's about an hour and a half northwest of St. Louis. Chief William Jones is now behind bars along with his girlfriend. That's where our Holden Kerwicki is reporting tonight.
Louisiana, Missouri is a community of just over 3,300 people, and seemingly everyone in town has questions after the police chief was arrested following 2 overdoses inside of his apartment Tuesday night.
According to the Pike County Sheriff's Office, deputies found one man dead in an upstairs apartment and another suffering from an apparent overdose after an off-duty police officer inside the Kentucky Street apartment called the non-emergency line. After finding heroin, fentanyl, and cocaine inside that apartment, deputies arrested Louisiana Police Chief William Jones and his girlfriend, A.J. Throne, on felony drug trafficking charges. Louisiana Mayor Tim Carter told me he's had concerns about the chief and the seven-man department for more than a year.
As far as being charged with a crime and everything, it's kind of a surprise in a way. However, I've always had concerns with our chief of police, and it's not a secret in the community.
The town of Louisiana has placed Jones on administrative leave pending the outcome of an investigation. At this time, he is currently in the Lincoln County Jail facing a $150,000 bond. Reporting in Louisiana, Missouri, Holden Kerwicki, 5 on your side.
Right now, police are looking for a man accused of shooting another man outside a St. Charles hotel. Happened yesterday outside the Hampton Inn and Suites on 5th Street. A man from St. Peter's was shot 3 times after an argument. He is expected to survive. The suspect is Kiri Caldwell, a man from Mississippi. He is charged with assault. Caldwell was driving an orange 2020 Dodge Charger with a black stripe. It has Mississippi license plates. They say he is armed and dangerous. If you have any information, you're urged to call police.
Now to another case of smashing and grabbing in St. Louis. This time, thieves hit the electrical union in the Hill neighborhood and stole guns from several cars.
5 on your side's Travis Cummings joins us live from the union's parking lot, where staff say more than a dozen cars were broken into Wednesday. Travis?
Mike and Kelly, car thieves came through here in broad daylight around 1:30 yesterday afternoon. And, you know, we saw several pieces of shattered glass on the ground. But today, I want to show you that police have put up cameras and there is patrol through the parking lot. Now, the union did show us some of their surveillance video. We're going to walk you through that today. From the time the thieves pulled in to the time they left, 1:28 to about 1:47. Staff say 13 cars were broken into, 11 apprentices who were attending day school at the time, one of their secretaries, and a janitor. Footage shows the thieves coming down Elizabeth Avenue in a white Kia with no license plate. Then you see 2 men hop out in dark colored clothing and ski masks. One had on a black hoodie with a white design. The other was wearing a satchel. Staff say it would be nice for the young people committing these crimes to put their energy into something positive.
We offer a great apprenticeship program. We offer great careers for people, and you know, if you've got that kind of skill where you're that technically savvy, you know, there's a lot of careers out there that you could use that skill for good, as opposed to, you know, stealing people's stuff.
St. Louis police say several firearms were stolen from some of the vehicles. Now, they did give citations to 4 individuals for not securing their firearms. Meanwhile, the union is offering a $5,000 reward to bring forth these criminals. If you know anything, of course, call Crime Stoppers at 866-371-TIPS. We're live on the Hill. Travis Cummings, 5 on your side.
Well, we've been reporting on these stolen cars for quite some time now, and we're asking you, have you had your car stolen or broken into recently? You can see 11% of you say yes. That's a lot. To weigh in, go to the 5 on your side app or ksdk.com/vote. Coming up, road work causing some delays tonight in St. Charles County. How it's going to impact drivers in the long run.
Plus, our Verify team explains the rules for political ads and why we have to air them.
And it's warm and dry right now, 73 degrees. The allergy index low on the mold and also weeds. Coming up, a chance of seeing some rain next week. I'll time it out.
Tonight, police are investigating a shooting in Webster Groves. A person was found shot in the chest on Reesnor Avenue last night. That person was taken to the hospital and released later. Police took someone in for questioning who is a person of interest. So far, no charges have been filed.
A heads up for drivers in St. Charles County. In about 4 hours, lanes are closing on Interstate 70 near Zumbell Road. The eastbound lanes close at 9 tonight. At least 2 lanes will be closed all night with some full closures throughout the night. Crews are working on new bridge supports. This is part of a bigger project to improve intersections and traffic issues between Cave Springs to Fairgrounds.
This is going to make a huge difference. Cave Springs especially, we saw traffic backing down the ramps onto I-70. So while the improvements are not specifically on the interstate, it will definitely help as the interchanges function better. Folks getting on and off will not impact I-70 nearly as much as they do today.
The interstate near Zumbel Road should be back open by 5 in the morning, and then there will be more work tomorrow night going westbound.
We have an opening date for 2 new Schnucks locations in Franklin County. Last month, Schnucks announced it was buying Frike's Markets in Union and Sullivan. The Union store will open next Wednesday, October 26th. Sullivan's location will open the next day on the 27th. The store in Sullivan will still operate as a Frike's Market until its new building opens next year.
There are bans on deceptive ads from companies, but why don't those same rules apply to campaign ads? We verify. After only 45 days in office, the UK Prime Minister Liz Truss resigned today. She was appointed by Queen Elizabeth last month after Boris Johnson resigned. The British pound hit an all-time low recently after Truss announced a new economic plan. There will be a new election to fill her job in the next week.
We are just weeks away from the general election. By now, you have probably already seen more campaign ads than you can count. And sometimes the ads might leave you with more questions than answers, like, can they say that? Here's Abby Larico to verify the rules.
Companies compete all the time, but you don't exactly see rival soda manufacturers, for example, exchanging digs or making dramatic claims like you would two candidates for office. Campaign ads seem to play by different rules. So
we checked with political strategist Ben Knuckles, Professor Erica Franklin Fowler, the Federal Communications Commission, the Federal Election Commission, and the Federal Trade Commission, and the Supreme Court to verify. Yes, different rules apply to political ads than businesses and private individuals.
It's the art and nature of politics, right? And politicians have the right to make their case.
The FTC's truth in advertising laws ban deceptive marketing tactics, but that scrutiny doesn't apply to political ads protected by the First Amendment.
And facts, can be fungible in some ways.
They can draw connections, use buzzwords, inflate their own storylines, and make generalizations that may bend the truth to fit the narrative they're selling to voters. The Supreme Court has upheld its political free speech.
I would say different campaigns have different thresholds for that.
While candidates can sue each other for defamation after an unsavory ad, the FCC generally does not preview or pre-approve ads before broadcast or ensure their accuracy.
After making a claim, especially about an opponent, spots typically cite sources on screen.
Campaigns need to be very careful to make sure that the claims that they're making are accurate and defensible is their third-party validation.
But that's actually not legally required.
I think it's a tactic by campaigns to cite their sources so that there's at least something to back up what they're saying.
Campaign ads must disclose on screen who's paying for the spot. Unlike most commercials, if it's funded directly by a certified candidate for office, broadcast networks like ours cannot reject or alter an ad.
You can say pretty much whatever you want to say on the air, and the stations cannot take that down.
But those third-party funded ads paid for by supporters or a political action committee, Knuckles says those are easier to challenge. It happens more often. With political ads specifically, broadcast networks are also required to give equal opportunity to advertise to competing candidates, aiming for fairness on both sides. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
In my opinion, an absolutely perfect day. Not too hot, not too cold.
It was like Mother Nature was turning up the dial on the temperature all day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, by the weekend, she's going to be like, all the way
exactly.
up.
All the way up, yeah, into the 80s. And today, 74, 75 in a couple spots. And this is why, guys, so high pressure at the surface right there in Arkansas, bringing in more of a west-southwest wind, and it was a little bit breezy, but that nice warm breeze started out in the morning hours in the 20s and 30s, even Lambert 38. But then that breeze, here it is right now, not too bad. It's going to get really breezy Saturday and windy on Sunday. But with the breeze, the dry weather, dry brush and grass, Perry County till 7 p.m. and in Missouri and Jefferson County in Illinois, a red flag warning. So again, very dry out there, critical fire weather. So that's what we call that. 73 degrees right now in St. Louis, some 60s on the Illinois side, but most of us in the 70s. Lows tonight, not as cold, in the 40s for those temperatures. In fact, low and mid 40s. 80 for tomorrow in St. Louis, 85 in Kansas City, 74 in Chicago. And then over the weekend, Scotty made this map here. Very nice. 81 for Saturday, breezy. Sunday, it's mainly windy, so that's a problem there. Wind gusts probably over 30 miles an hour. Clouds on the increase. And then as we head into Monday, here comes a front. So we'll watch for showers, maybe some rumbles of thunder in here. And then a second wave develops along that front. Low pressure comes right up into the area, and we could see rain all day on Tuesday. And so that's some good news. We need some rain. These rain totals are going up, so about a ½ an inch to an inch of rain. Wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit more if that rain sticks around long enough on Tuesday. So the high today, 74, 38 for that low. That dry air helps the temperature drop at night. And then with that southwest wind, go way back up in the daytime. 88's the record high, and 68 is the average overnight low. Allergy index, there it is again, weeds and mold low, so that's not too bad at all. And then tomorrow's high temperature, mostly sunny, a little bit breezy, south wind gusting to 25 and 80 for that high temperature. 7-day forecast is showing temperatures right about 80, low 80s Saturday. Record high, I believe Scotty said, was 86. Then windy Sunday, 80, and 77 Monday. Rain develops and really rainy on Tuesday, 65. And then we dry up Wednesday and Thursday, and we stay in the 60s. We're not too cold after all of that heat.
Yeah, and we need that rain, don't we, Jim?
Yes.
All right,
Thanks,
thank you.
Jim.
Well, the Blues worked overtime last night. Frank Cusimano was next with the big night from Vladimir Tarasenko.
Justin Falk had an interesting beginning to his career in St. Louis. It was the year after the Blues won the Cup, so when the team was celebrating with getting their rings on the ice or going to the White House, he stayed in the background. He knew he didn't have a part in it. He does now. He may be the best player on the team.
Schultz whipped on it. Thomas centers. Tarasenko to Falk. The shot, he scores!
Last night in Seattle, the Blues let a 3-1 lead disappear, but saved face with that goal by Falk. And he was quick to give credit to Vladimir Tarasenko for the pass. Vladdy now has 5 points in 2 games and could have easily taken the shot in close.
Yeah, he was yelling at me, saying I was calling for it, and it was pretty obvious. But yeah, I mean, he obviously he is more than capable to do that. But anytime that puck's on his stick, he probably creates more space for his teammates and finds opportunities for them to score too. And when you're a dangerous player like that, teams have to take notice and be aware. And obviously, they're trying, but he's been doing pretty well.
Be with us Sunday night for Sports Plus after the game. We will have the story of a blind hockey player who's absolutely amazing. Plus, our evening with the new Hall of Famers, the number 7s who were traded for each other, Red Berenson and Gary Unger. Unger was an incredible player for the Note. In 8 full seasons with the Blues, he scored 30 or more goals. And then there was that incredible Ironman streak of 914 consecutive games. And then there was the hair. Oh, that hair, the blonde flowing locks. Females loved him. Now, Unger has been happily married to Beverly for 48 years, but initially it was an adjustment for her.
She was my girlfriend. She lived in London, Ontario, where I played junior. And there were times when she came into town and girls would show up at the door with birthday cakes and different things. And all of a sudden, I had to explain a few things. But luckily we made it through that time, and she's still with me.
Be with us Sunday. Hey, Mizzou will host Vandy Saturday for homecoming. Can't lose this game because Vandy loses every SEC game. This is video of their last SEC win 3 years ago at Vandy against Mizzou. It's 24 losses in a row for the Commodores in the SEC, including getting beat by 52 by Alabama earlier in the year.
Our seniors and upperclassmen know the challenge that this is, can looking back on their careers here. And so we got to go earn it this week. And this is a quality SEC football team that we are going to play. We've been on that side of those games too. And it's not always reflective of where your team or your culture is.
got to win the game.
And you understand what Gary Unger was going through because of your days at DeSmet.
Yeah, I mean, poor Monique, when she sees all these cakes and brownies, these girls just dropping stuff off. I feel for her.
One of our producers,
gotta be
one of our producers has a thing for Gary Unger's hair.
Yes, really?
Sheila.
Did,
You know who you are.
To this day.
Sheila.
Well, there you have it. 5 on your side at 5.
Nightly news is next. We're back at 6. Have a great evening.